Okay, today I want to do some bow fillers, and I'm going to do them two different ways. One's going to be sublimation, and one's going to be where I use my printer, and I'm going to use the printer and print out with material. But I'll show you both ways. And I am going to use my Silhouette software for this because it's if you don't have something where you can break images apart and resize them, this is a very nice software, and it's free, and you can do what I'm doing in the free version. So what I'm going to start with is I'm going to use, let's see if I have her up. Yeah, I am going to use here, it's 2x4 block printables, and her name's Betty. And I already had these images because I've already done for y'all an image on a 2x4 with, I think I've done this one right here, or a 2x6 maybe. But anyways, I'm going to use these again. So I'm going to go into my Silhouette software, and I am going to hit merge, and I'm going to bring in the file. Now, let me shrink that just a little bit so y'all can see what we're doing. I'm going to go over here to the trace panel, and it looks like a little butterfly, and I'm going to hit that. And I'm going to hit select trace area, and I'm going to put a box around these so they can trace. Now they've turned yellow. I'm going to turn my threshold up to make sure I get all the edges of this. So I'll go over here to threshold, and I will turn them up, or turn it up and a little bit more. That looks like I got all of them. Now from there, I'm going to hit the trace and detach, and it'll take it just a little bit to work. All right, it's done. Now take the white on the background and pull it off. Now, if I was wanting this tag, I would have had to bring my threshold up a little more, but I'm actually just wanting the flag. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to put it on a different sheet. Paste. And then I want God Bless America. I'm going to copy that and put it on a different sheet. Now from here, I can size them however big or small I want them. And they're individual. And I've already taken and figured out what sizes I wanted. And it's right here. And this is the sheet that I'll be printing out. And this is for sublimation on this one here. I will go up to my file, print again, and then I'll make sure that my Epson's checked, and I want to make sure also in the preferences that I do get a print preview, because I don't want this to be off and not get it all printed. And it is fine, or it's on, so now I'll do that. And then when I hit print, I'll get a print preview. Okay, now from there, it's going to bring that up. I see that it's all fine, and I'll just hit print. But I'm not going to do that because I've already printed it out. Now I'll hit print, and it'll, see, you can see in the sublimation, it needed to be, because I'm ironing it on something, I'm going to have it. It has to be a mirror image, and you can see it automatically done it because that's the way I have the sublimation printer set up to print. Anyways. All right, I'm not going to print it, so I'll go out of there. Now on this here, I am going to now stop the software part, and I am going to print this out on some material, and I'm going to go back to my camera and show you how I do that. So you can, if you don't have sublimation, you can print it out on some material and do the same thing. All right, now I have some muslin. I got this muslin. It's a nice muslin. It's a little thicker. I got it from burlapfabric.com. I'll leave a link for it below also. And I have a plain sheet of wax paper, or not wax paper, freezer paper. And this is the one I got. It's called the Gypsy Quilter Applique Freezer Paper. Create, print, and iron on and reuse. So, one side of it, I'll leave the link below for this also. Because you can get freezer paper and cut your own size. But this is just goes through my printer. It's easier and it wasn't that high or anything. So I got this. And one side just looks like plain paper. And then one side is kind of shiny and slick. That's the size that has the wax on it. Now I am going to iron that onto this here. And I want to make sure I'm going to turn that this way. Because I don't want, I've got a clean Teflon mat here that I'm using. I don't want to iron on this dirty one. I don't need stuff on the back of it. All right, that works. Now, I'll just take my little iron, or any iron, and I'm going to press this freezer paper onto that muslin. You're going to want to make sure you get the edges good. Go up and down one more time. I think that should be good. My corners. All right, set that aside. That feels good. Now from here, I need my material scissors. Hang on, I'll be right back. All right, the reason I get these is because I know they'll cut material, and I want this cut good. Now I am going to trim this all the way around. Get my head out of the light. All the way around, the same size as the paper. But I'm not going to have you sit here and watch me do this. And as soon as I get this done, I'll be right back. Now, I've made sure this mat must have been dirty too, because I got some lines on there. That's all right, because it'll print over it. Make sure there's no raveling sticking off or sticking out anywhere. Now, I am going to stick this into my printer and print it out. I think I'm just going to use, I'm not going to use Best, because it seems like a lot of times on material, my color comes out if I just use the normal print. But mine will go in, I feed in from the back, and it prints out like this. Now, if you're going in and your printer prints in from the bottom, then it'll come out up and it'll print on this side. So whichever way you need to go with your printer, that's the way you'll go. Now I'm going to put this in my printer and I'm going to print it. Okay, here are both prints. This is the one I printed out in my printer. You see how that looks. And this is on sublimation paper. It doesn't look the same right now, because this is on bright white and this was on the material. But all I have to do now on this one, I get that, is peel this back. And see, I had plenty of ink on there because it even went through on that. And now I can use these to make my bowl stuffers. Now I'm going to take into my heat press if I can get in there. No, I'm not going to be able to, because my chickens, my little hen has her babies in there, and I can barely make it back into my heat press because her big old trough is in there. And as soon as we can get the other chickens that we bought this spring out of the grow out pen, we'll put her and her baby chickens out there. But anyways, now I'm going to go in and I'm going to print that on. Let me show you. I am going to print that on this kind of material because this is a tablecloth that I bought at the thrift store. And I could tell by the feel of it and everything that it wasn't 100% cotton. So I thought, I am going to do a printout or on Sublimation and see just how my Sublimation prints on this. Because you have to have a lot of polyester in it for it to really take the color and be good. So I did this one just as a test. And I'll be making something with it. Because it turned out pretty good. I did do this one, and that was what I sublimated that on there. So I'll be using this in a project. But that was just a test, and it worked great. So now, well, this one end will work for that. So I am just going to use this here. Cut that off, and I'm going to take and put that Sublimation print on this piece here. I don't have to be worrying about how straight it is or anything, as long as I get it in there. And I'll lay this on my heat press. I'll put this down over it. And of course, I need to use Teflon, or not Teflon, but butcher paper on the back and the front, because you can see how it might bleed, and I don't want that on my Teflon and ruin my Teflon or the platen of my heat press. But I'm going to go do that. I'm going to press this down on there and come back and we'll see how it looks. All right, I wanted to come back and show you the difference. This is the one that was printed out on the printer. Well, the regular printer with the freezer paper. And this is the one that is sublimated. And you can see there is a difference in colors. I think this one here actually came out looking more like the picture itself. That's the way they look. Now what I'll do with these is I'll cut each one of these out. And I don't know if I'm going to use, I'm going to try the hot glue gun on one. And then on the others, I might just go sew them up on the sewing machine. I'm not going to do the kind where you turn, you know, sew inside out and turn. If I sew it with sewing machine, I'm just going to go right around like this. Or I might hand stitch them. I don't know. But we'll try a glue gun first. That's easy, right? And then I'm going to cut that one out. Well, I'll just cut one out for right now. And my glue gun has got to heat up. And I'm getting some of the strips of fabric that I cut off here. I don't know if that piece is big enough. Yep, it's big enough. I'm just going to leave it like that. And when my glue gun gets finished heating up, I'm just going to pick this up and run a seam of glue. And I'm going to leave it open so on one side so I can stuff it. And I'll be back as soon as this is heated up. Okay, my glue gun is hot now, and put that on there correctly. Well, I am not good at glue guns. got that side. Getting the first one is probably the hardest. That one. That. And I got me a little bit of stuffing here. Okay, I'm going to put some stuffing in it. I'll trim this off here in a minute. It doesn't take a whole lot. I need a stick. That's good. This is probably all it's going to take. I don't really need that much. I'm getting it a little stuffed. Too much stuffed. Okay, now I'm going to go on this side so I can see where to put the glue. Got the glue there. Let's trim this down. Probably wouldn't have hurt if I'd have made these just a little bit bigger. But I was trying to fit a bunch on one page. Okay, there's a bowl stuffer. And I would go around probably, I wonder if my finger sander would pull some of that off. Yep. You know it has to look grungy a little bit. And, you know, I made those flags similar to this, just with painting the material. That would work for bowl stuffers. Paint one side, glue it together. If you didn't want to print them out. There, I made it a little more, well, I like it. And then I might take my coffee, my instant coffee and cinnamon mixture, and kind of just lightly go over the back to where I don't saturate it, because I don't know if this ink might run. Or she could spray it with hairspray too, like I do when I put Mod Podge on them. There's that. And I'm going to go on, and I've cut the rest of them out because I'm going to put these in my bowl, my wood bowl, my dough bowl, and I wanted one in the middle, so I wanted this one, and then two on each side. That's like, I think that's what I'm wanting. And I also got to thinking, I cut one of those others. What did I do with it? That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. Oh, here it is. This is the one with the... go ahead and do this. This is the one that was sublimated on. This material doesn't really get anywhere by doing that. I thought this would look cute, like I made those stars or those flags also. Let's see, I had one left. Yeah. The ones like I painted. See, that's what I was saying. If you painted some sign or some material like this would be really cute. Made into bowl stuffers. And some of them I done, I didn't use the material. I just painted the blue and put some dots on there and done the stripes. That would be really cute, primitive bowl stuffers. But I'm going to try, see what this looks like. Right there, like that. Because if I'd known I was going to put these on a stick, I would have elongated them some. You know, made them a little longer. I'm just going to go around one move. Like that. That's good. See, if I'd elongated it, this would have been showing more. Anyways. All right. Now, I'm going to finish these up. And these are the ones that I had that was with the sublimation. And these are printed out on using the rice paper for your material, to put your material on through the printer. I'm going to finish these up and decorate my little bow, and we'll see how it looks. Well, I finished my project up, and I ended up only using 2 of the flags. And I'll show you what all I done in here. I put wrapped a cheesecloth that was coffee dyed around both flags with a little rusty star. Put some pip berries in there, some of my Sweet Annie. And that I just put some cheesecloth on it also. And then surrounded it with rose hips. And I think it turned out really cute. And it'd really be cute if I had put some of my little lights in it, the little fairy lights, strung them through there. I might do that yet. But, oh yeah, and the pip berries, and then the small rusty star here, and the rose hips, I got all that from factorydirect.com. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and until the next one, we'll see you later.